Hello, everybody. I just thought that I would present this little video here to discuss written assignment one and discuss your grades. And I noticed that for a lot of the people, when they wrote their written assignment, what was often missing and the reason why they didn't get the score, a really top-notch score, was because they failed or they did not enough include discussion and analysis of the different primary sources. So what I wanted to do is discuss a little bit about primary sources and the written assignments so that on future assignments, everybody just does better. I want everybody to get a good grade in the class. All right, so let's talk a little bit about primary sources and why we're even talking about them. Primary sources are the actual written documents. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be a written document. It can be an artifact or even a monument like a pyramid or a ziggurat, but it's something that is produced by a culture that you're examining. It's a first-hand witness. That's where we get primary source. It's a first-hand witness of a past culture. And so in essence, when you're looking at a primary source, you're really getting a window to the past. And that's why it's so important. What historians do is when they try to understand a culture, an ancient culture or more recent culture, or understand the history, they have to go through and examine all the different primary sources, and then based on those primary sources, try to reconstruct and rebuild the history of a culture or a past event. And so with these written assignments, what I want you as students to do is to get an appreciation of all that is involved, to get an appreciation of the work that historians do. So when they, like you can see a picture of Hammurabi's code or a cuneiform tablet. What historians have to do is they have to look at these sources and then try to read through them and analyze them to try to understand the past. So that's what I just want to give everybody in the class, since this is a survey course of world history. I kind of want to give all the students a kind of taste of what's all involved in that, a kind of an appreciation of the work that historians do. All right, so how does this apply to you all taking this class and doing these written assignments? Well, number one, it's very important that in the next written assignment where you have different primary sources, it's very important that you include a discussion and analysis of all those different primary sources into your essay. So in your essay, you're being asked a certain question, and when you answer the question, you have arguments. You have certain arguments that you're using to support your answer to the essay question. So you have an essay question, and then you come up with an answer to that essay question, and then you have to have arguments to support your answer to that question. So within those arguments, you need to have evidence. You always have to have evidence, supporting evidence. So for these written assignments, what you need to do is you need to include evidence from these primary sources. Could be an excerpt from these primary sources, could be a sentence from these primary sources. This, looking at the content of the primary source, you want to use that content as evidence to support your arguments. So what you want to do for the next assignment is, first of all, you want to read the course lectures and the assigned readings in the textbook first. And then after you've read that material, go through and read the different primary sources. And then when you're reading through those primary sources, keep in mind the essay question and also the background reading that you've completed. So for example, in the last assignment, you learned about what all the features of a complex culture were. And you also read about ancient Mesopotamia, you read about ancient Egypt. So when you went through the primary sources that had to do with Mesopotamia and ancient Egypt, what you needed to do was to say, okay, here's a complex feature that we learned about this. We learned about, for example, specialization being a feature of a complex culture. And then when I read a primary source like Hammurabi's Code, what I see is examples of specialization. You know, like the code mentions all these different professions, like shipbuilders and construction workers and artisans, and so those would be an example from the primary source of specialization. So that's what you need to do. So you think about the essay question, you do the assigned readings, read the course lecture, and then when you're reading the primary sources, you look for evidence, or you look for aspects of those primary sources that have to do specifically with the essay question that you're trying to answer for that written assignment. So anyway, I hope that this has given you an understanding, a better understanding of what to do, what's expected on the next written assignment, and you're all going to get A's, right? Yeah, that's what you're all going to do. So good luck, and I'll see you around.